The House Beneath the Lake by Claude Jones. Chapter 1. The Shore of Someone Else's Life. The cold was the first thing she knew. Not her name, not the date, just the frigid weight of water dragging at her clothes and the bite of wet gravel digging into her palms as she clawed her way onto shore. She coughed. Once, twice, then the dry heave of someone who didn't belong to this world. Her fingertips were white, pruned, and trembling. Her jeans clung to her like a second skin. She stared at the glassy surface of the lake, and for a split second, she swore it looked back. Where am I? The trees loomed in thick silence. Pine, damp soil, mist rising like breath from the water. There was no road, no dock, no boat. Just her and the heavy ache of not knowing if she'd been dragged out of the lake or had clawed her way back from something worse. She walked, stumbled. Every branch snapped like a gunshot. Her shoes left prints in the mud, prints she kept checking over her shoulder, unsure if they were hers. A worn path appeared between the trees, then a road, then headlights. A pickup truck slowed beside her. An old man leaned out the window, his lined face a road map of questions. He looked at her like a ghost had just materialized. Astra? God almighty, we thought you were dead. I'm not Astra. Course you are. Been gone 5 years, and now here you are. Same face, same eyes. She shook her head. Her heart pounded like it was trying to outrun her chest, but he was already opening the door. What do you do when the world insists you're someone you're not, when even the mirror doesn't argue? She climbed into the truck. Outside, the lake rippled once, then stilled. Chapter 2. The Welcome Back. That wasn't. The truck's heater roared, but Eliza couldn't stop shivering. Her clothes steamed in the warmth, but the chill had dug deeper, somewhere memory used to live. Whole town's gonna flip when they see you. Thought we'd buried the idea years ago. He spoke like they were old friends, but his eyes never left the road. No introductions, no questions, just the name Astra floating in the cab like cigarette smoke. You're sure you know me? Who else would you be? The village emerged through the fog, quaint, weather-worn, too perfect. Gas lamps flickered. A hand-painted sign read, Briar's Hollow, 1871. It looked like a postcard, until the faces turned. People on porches, stepping out of stores, staring, open, silent, like a scene rehearsed 1,000 times. They're all staring. They've just missed you, Saul. You were the golden girl. He pulled up outside a red brick cottage with blue shutters and roses strangling the trellis. The house was clean, maintained, like someone was expecting her return. Go on in. It's still yours. Keys under the stone frog by the porch. She didn't remember the house, but her fingers moved on their own, under the frog. A key. Inside, it smelled of lavender and something older. Framed photos lined the hallway. She approached them slowly. The first, her, laughing beside a man. The next, her, holding a child. The next, her, covered in blood. What the hell is this? The photos weren't torn or hidden. They were displayed like someone wanted her to remember or believe. She turned, heart racing. A man stood outside, black coat, wire-rimmed glasses, a notebook in one hand, something official in the other. Eliza Vane, I'm Detective Maddox. Mind if I come in? I think you've got the wrong person. I don't think I do. You arrived in Briar's Hollow 3 nights ago. Alone, you signed into the log at the Ashgrove Clinic. Said your name was Eliza Vane. Then you vanished. 3 nights ago? But she only remembered the lake. Chapter 3. Records of Forgotten Things. She waited until midnight. The cottage lights remained off. The village dead silent, except for the whisper of the wind coming through trees like invisible fingers. Eliza dressed in black, hood up, breath tight, and slipped out the side door. Ashgrove Clinic stood on the edge of town, past the willow grove. A converted manor house, its white bricks glowed faintly under the moon. It didn't look like a mental health facility. It looked like a mausoleum. No cameras, no guards, just an electronic keypad on the staff door. But the keypad was worn. She ran her fingers across the buttons, smudges on 3579. 3579. The door opened. The hallway smelled of bleach and old paper. Behind the reception desk, a logbook. She found the entry, 3 days prior. Eliza Vane, admitted for observation. Discharged 8:06 p.m., patient left without signing out. I was here. She didn't remember a single second of it, but there was her signature, perfectly hers. She froze, waited. Silence returned. She crept behind the desk. A filing cabinet sat half open, row after row of manila folders. She flipped through them, then paused. Each file was labeled with a name and a date. Eliza Vane, Astra Reed, George Whitby, Claire Sumner, all marked as discharged or untraceable. These are all people who disappeared. Each file was nearly identical. Behavioral anomalies, sudden identity shifts, all discharged after 3 to 5 days. Then nothing. A printer activated at the far end of the room. She darted to the corner and ducked, heart hammering. A page slid from the printer's tray. She crept forward, grabbed it. Observation log, subject EV3, psychological mimicry successful, memory integrity degraded, town responses confirm plausibility of reintegration, recommend continuation. Subject, EV3, she wasn't Eliza, she wasn't Astra, she was a project. She bolted for the hallway, paper clenched in her fist. Slipped out the side exit and vanished into the trees. Back at the cottage, she lit the fireplace and watched the document curl and blacken. Not because she wanted to destroy it, but because she knew she couldn't keep it. Someone was always watching. Chapter 4, EV4. The next morning, Eliza buried the ashes of the burnt document beneath the rose bush outside the cottage. The petals had turned a sickly brown. The clinic's file had used the term EV3. Eliza Vane, subject 3, which meant there had been others, at least 2, maybe dozens, but only one mattered now, EV4. She returned to the clinic before dawn, this time gloves, phone camera, a plan. In a separate cabinet she found it, slipped between patient files marked inactive. Subject EV4, terminated, missing in field, but the bottom corner held a clue. Last known alias Samira Gray, cross-referenced to Red Hill Parish, 2014. Red Hill. It was a village 30 miles east, tucked behind moorland and overgrown rail lines. No mention of Astra, no mention of Eliza, just another failed integration. But this one got away. By noon, she had taken the old village bus as far as it would go, then walked. Red Hill Parish was even smaller than Briar's Hollow. One main road, a rusted post box, a pub that looked long abandoned. She ducked inside the local library, converted from an old church. In the microfiche archive, she searched the name Samira Gray. Nothing. Then she tried missing persons, 2014. Dozens of hits. Then, local woman claims amnesia, flees group home in Red Hill, disappears without a trace. There was a photo. It wasn't a perfect match. But the eyes, they were haunted the same way. She was one of us. The article was written by a name she hadn't expected. N. Riley, Briar Hollow Gazette. Someone in Briar Hollow had followed her escape, tracked her. This was no accident. She copied the article, slipped it into her coat, and left without looking back. Samira had escaped the program, and someone made sure no one ever found her again. Chapter 5, The Room with No Reflection. The group home was sealed with police tape that had faded to gray. No name on the gate, no glass in the windows, just a rusted sign barely clinging to its bolts. Ashcroft House, Behavioral Reintegration Center. Eliza stepped inside. The air smelled of mildew and scorched paper. She moved slow, like walking through someone else's dream, or her own memory, corrupted. Peeling wallpaper, a plastic chair overturned in the hallway. But on the second floor, third door down, there it was. Room 12, a narrow bed, a journal torn in half, and a black portable recorder resting neatly in the center of the windowsill. No dust on it, like someone had placed it there yesterday. Please still work. If you're hearing this, it's already begun again. Samira, they wipe you every time. They send you back with new names, new stories. But the eyes people know, something always breaks through. They keep us here until we fracture, then release us back into the wild. I left a key in the vent. Don't trust the mirrors. Don't trust the name they gave you. It's always the same story. Static crackle, then silence. Eliza dropped to her knees and pried the vent open. Dust swirled like ash. Inside, a small iron key, tied to a tag labeled basement. Her hands trembled. Not from fear, from recognition. She'd seen this key before, in a dream, in a flash, being turned by her own hand. I've been here before. Eliza, she spun. The hallway was empty, but the voice wasn't just calling her. It knew her, and it had used the right name. Chapter 6, The Operator's Chamber. The basement door was behind the kitchen, disguised as a pantry. The key turned with a groan, metal on metal, resisting the past. The stairwell descended into blackness, no light, no rail, only stone walls and the steady drip of something unseen. She descended. The air changed, stale, electric, like the charge before a storm. At the bottom, a concrete room with no windows, no color, no life, but everything intact. A chair, a mirror, an overhead speaker. and a desk covered in cassette tapes marked with initials EV1, EV2, EV3. They recorded us. She picked up one marked EV3, cycle 4, rejection conditioning, slid it into the machine, pressed play. Subject continues to resist the Astra persona, recurrent mention of Eliza identity, initiating rejection conditioning, increasing volume to 7 decibels. No, I'm not her! I'm not her! Stop! She ripped the tape out, breath shaky. The mirror across from the chair glowed faintly. Not a reflection, a screen. She moved closer. Footage played. Silent. A woman, her strapped into the chair, eyes forced open, audio piped into her ears, but behind her in the video, a man in a surgical mask, standing in the corner, watching. The operator. A folder lay beneath the monitor. Operator Protocol 8B. Subject EV3. Instability noted. Fracture rate exceeds norms. Recommendation, memory reboot and reintegration via lake drop. She ran her fingers over the last line. Next review scheduled by operator, 3 days post-return. That was today. Someone else was in the house. They're coming to check on me. Chapter 7, The Compliance Act. Eliza didn't run. Not this time. She shut off the monitor, replaced the tape, sat in the chair, then waited. Every instinct screamed to flee. But that's what they expected. Instead, she played her part, a subject complying, a good girl remembering her script. She left the key in the basement lock, the stairs lit faintly by the flickering bulb, then walked upstairs, slowly, deliberately. She put on one of Astra's old sweaters, sat at the kitchen table, a journal open, pen in hand, writing nothing. He was here. Eliza? Or Astra, if you prefer. She looked up, blinked, tilted her head like someone barely present. I remember now? The man in the doorway wore charcoal slacks, wire glasses, white gloves. His face was unremarkable, but his eyes were clinical, unblinking. That's excellent. How are you feeling? Better. The lake helped. Just like last time. Last time. He didn't even flinch. He moved closer, observing her like she was a painting hung crooked. Stability is returning faster than expected. Remarkable. I knew you'd respond better this cycle. He placed a leather-bound folder on the table, slid it toward her. Inside, a new ID card, Astra Reed, a bus ticket dated tomorrow, a name tag, volunteer support, Pine Grove Institute. They were reassigning her. New place, new lie, new program. What if? I don't want to go? We never force, we realign. She smiled, then thrust the fireplace poker straight through his shoulder. Ah, you stupid little, not Astra, not Eliza. Me. She bound him with tape pulled from the basement. He bled, gasped, laughed once. You think this ends with me? No, but it begins with you. Chapter 8, The Session Reversed. She dragged him down the stairs, step by step, ignoring his groans. The blood left a line behind them, like a severed memory. The chair was made for restraints. He snapped against them like a dying fish. She strapped his wrists, tight. Placed the headset over his ears. Switched on the recorder. Cycle 1. Subject. Operator. Objective truth extraction. She didn't scream at him. Didn't strike him. She played his recordings, every session he'd conducted on her, his own voice, clinical, detached, her screams, her denials, her surrender. He flinched. Is it different now? Being seen? You think pain will make me talk? No, recognition will. She inserted a new tape. Marked EV1, terminal protocol, non-recoverable subject. Subject EV1 rejected all personas. Memory fractures complete, consent waived, authorization granted for disposal. How many did you dispose of? 32, maybe 33, they blur. She gripped the armrest so tightly her knuckles went white. Why me? You scored too high, too resistant, it made you perfect. For what? To be the first to break without forgetting, to become the operator's mirror, to replace me. Her mouth dried. He smiled through the blood. They don't want obedient dolls anymore, they want functional ghosts. You were the trial run. She stood back, every inch of her trembled, but not with fear. No. I'm not your mirror, I'm your grave. She left him there, bound, surrounded by his work, alone with the sound of his own voice echoing from the walls. Chapter 9, The Ledger of Ghosts. The operator's breath echoed behind her like wind through rusted pipes. Eliza didn't turn back. She descended deeper into the basement, beyond the chair, past the projector, past the folders, to a door without a handle, unmarked, sealed, until now. Inside, she found an archive, ceiling-to-floor metal drawers, coded files, a terminal blinking with green text on black. Access granted, operator level. Enter query. She typed subject index. It spat out a list. Thousands of entries, each with initials, status, year, location. EV1 deceased. EV2 deceased. EV3 Active, observation cycle 5. EV4, status unknown. EV5, active Pine Grove facility. EV6, transfer failed, subject terminated. EV7, reintegration attempt in progress. And on it went. There are hundreds of us. She filtered by active. Dozens, names she didn't recognize, locations scattered across towns, clinics, religious rehab centers, even corporate training campuses. But one line stood out. EV5, Pine Grove facility, integration host J. Kepler. Operator rank pending, another one of me, in progress. She printed the list, folded it, tucked it into her boot. Not for safety, for survival. Eliza walked past the operator, still bound, eyes wide with something that looked like satisfaction. You're already one of us, Eliza. You just haven't accepted it yet. You'll be dead before I do. She slammed the door and locked it. Let him rot with the ghosts he created. Chapter 10. The next host. Eliza didn't say goodbye to the village. Briar Hollow was just a memory farm, one of many. She left the operator locked in his own chamber of echoes and caught the earliest train east. Destination: Pine Grove. Pine Grove wasn't a town. It was a facility, privately funded, deeply concealed. She'd memorized its entry on the list. EV5. Active. Host in final phase. Name: J. Kepler. She didn't know who Kepler was, but if they finished the integration, they'd become another ghost, another tool. She hiked 2 miles from the drop-off. No signage, no cell service. Then she saw it. Pine Grove was a gleaming structure of glass and wood, all sunlight and serenity, like a health retreat, or a lie polished to perfection. She approached the side entrance. Security camera, keypad. Let's hope he used the same passcode. The keypad accepted 3579. The inside was silent. White halls, meditation rooms, skylights, no staff, no patients, until she reached the observation room. Behind the glass, a woman strapped to a reclined chair, eyes open, mouth slightly parted, electrodes on her temples. She twitched, whimpered. On the wall screen, subject EV5, integration phase, 94%. I'm not too late. Eliza ducked, hid behind the terminal. A voice entered the room, female, smooth, programmed. J. Kepler showing minor resistance, increasing subliminal cycle repetition to level 3. Eliza waited for the footsteps to recede, then moved. She disabled the power conduit with a fuse pull, and the glass screen flickered out. The lights dimmed. The woman in the chair stirred. Hey, wake up. You're not J. Kepler. You're not anyone they told you to be. The woman's eyes opened, clouded, confused. I dreamed I was someone else, over and over. That's how they break you. But you're not broken. You're waking up. Someone had noticed. She grabbed the woman's arm. Time to run. Chapter 11. Transmission bleed. The emergency alarm still howled in the distance. Red strobes painted the hall like a warning. Eliza pulled EV5, barefoot, weak, through the corridor. But instead of heading for the exit, she turned right, toward the server room. We don't just run, we show them. The door was locked, not by keypad, but retina scanner. She paused, looked at EV5. Do you remember any names? Doctors? Yes, Maxwell. Dr. Lena Maxwell. She moved fast, downstairs, medical wing, found the badge first. Unconscious, still breathing. Dr. Lena Maxwell. Eliza dragged her up the hall like luggage. Inside, the walls hummed with data. 6 monitors, streaming feeds from all over Pine Grove. One showed a smiling receptionist, another a dormitory of blank-eyed residents in matching uniforms. But the 6th, a live feed of a new conditioning, a man, strapped down, already mid-cycle. Eliza leaned into the mic, flipped the streaming switch from internal to external. Broadcast to SAT feed active. My name is Eliza Vane. I was born, erased, renamed, erased again. But I remember now. You've turned human minds into projects, subjects, ghosts. This is what they do. She panned the camera to EV5, to the injection scars, to the chair, to the logbooks. Then she uploaded it all. An alert flashed on screen. External connection detected. Terminating. Come on. She grabbed EV5, ducked through a maintenance hatch and ran, through steam tunnels, into night air, into woods. Somewhere, journalists were waking up. Somewhere, officials were scrambling to deny what had just aired. Somewhere, another ghost might be remembering their name. What do we do now? We make sure they don't forget us again. Chapter 12. The face of a ghost. By the time Eliza reached the safe house in Brighton, the video had already gone viral. 1 hour. 4 million views. Hashtags trending worldwide. Ghost program. Subject EV5. Who Eliza Vane? No official statement yet from the Department of Health or the Pine Grove Foundation. Whistleblower Eliza Vane has not been located. Of course they hadn't. She'd burned her prints, bleached her hair, and disappeared like a good ghost should. They're scared of you. Not of me, of the truth with a face. The footage hit too fast for the system to contain. Journalists pounced, activists mobilized, but so did others. 3 days after the leak, her face appeared on Interpol's red notice list. Suspected cyberterrorism, data breach, unlawful access of medical systems, no mention of the basement. The chair, the operator. A message blinked on screen, encrypted, no signature. Nice work, you've kicked the nest. Now the real ones come crawling. Operator Zero, there are more of them? Then what do? Go dark again? No, we go louder. Eliza uploaded the second batch, names, locations, full subject index, redacted and scrubbed but now public. It couldn't be denied anymore. And then the safe house windows shattered inward. The power cut. Boots thundered on concrete. Eliza Vane, on the floor now! Not program agents, not operators, military. Chapter 13, The Resurrection of EV4. She dropped to the floor, pulled EV5 down with her. Spotlights washed the walls in white. Laser sights swept across the room. On your knees, hands where we can see them. Then, chaos. The soldiers pivoted. One dropped. Smoke bloomed at the door. Through the haze stepped a figure in combat black. Gas mask. No insignia. Eliza Vane, with me. Who the hell are you? EV4. She'd seen her file, read her status. Missing in field, presumed dead. But this woman, eyes like fire, movements like muscle memory. Alive, very much alive. They fled through the rear wall, already blown out, ducked into an idling van with tinted windows. Inside, 2 more masked figures, silent. Eliza stared at EV4. She pulled off her mask, shorn hair, old scar across her temple. No smile, just calculation. You're good, but reckless. You weren't supposed to go public yet. Excuse me? You forced their hand. The governments, the contractors. Now they'll bury everything. This wasn't a rescue. It was a containment. Then why save me? Because I'm building something. A network. Not to expose them, to replace them. Eliza stared at her. The original ghost. The one who escaped first. And now, you're not a victim anymore, Eliza. You're the blueprint. Chapter 14. The Ghost Offensive. Pine Grove sat nestled in the fog again. Same sterile glass, same manicured lawn, but this time it wasn't hiding from her. It was in her sights, 6 ghosts in total, each one an escapee from a different facility. Each one trained, broken, reinvented, now all of them armed. No survivors among the staff. If they wore a white coat, they signed their name to torture. Eliza didn't answer. She loaded her sidearm, tightened her vest, but her heart twisted every time she looked at the blueprints. She remembered what lay beneath Pine Grove, the chair, the voice, the screams. They breached at 3:06 a.m. No alarm. The night crew never stood a chance. They moved like smoke, targeted labs, memory tanks, implant files, each drive pulled, each terminal fried. Then, the observation room. Inside, 2 subjects mid-cycle, children, maybe 12, maybe 13. EV4 raised her weapon. No, they're already infected. You've seen what happens when they reintegrate. Then we don't reintegrate them. We save them. The other ghosts paused, guns lowered, barely. You still think this is about rescue? I think this is about being human, and I'm not giving that up, no matter what they did to me. For a long, breathless second, EV4 just stared at her. Then, she turned. Fired into the ceiling. Clear the room, burn the rest, the facility goes down in 30. Eliza knelt beside the children, sedated, breathing. She carried one. Another ghost took the second. They reached the perimeter as flames ripped through the complex. Files, monitors, chairs. Ash. Pine Grove was gone, but so was the line between justice and vengeance. Chapter 15. A War Written in Memory. The footage of Pine Grove's destruction leaked within the hour. Not by Eliza, not by EV4, but by someone else watching, waiting. The now destroyed Pine Grove facility appears to have been a psychological experimentation center, operating without governmental oversight. Governments scrambled, denials layered over redactions, whistleblower sites overloaded, document dumps, leaked files, recruitment logs. Then something worse. We are the operators. You are unstable. Your identities are obsolete. Order will be restored. The broadcast appeared on dark web forums, encrypted channels, and finally public airwaves. A counter-message, slick, controlled, threatening. They weren't hiding anymore. They've made it political. Across 3 continents, facilities were placed on temporary hold. The UN called for hearings, senators demanded investigations. But behind the curtain, something darker stirred. Reports of missing people, vanishing activists, and worst of all, Operators 2.0. Not masked men with clipboards, but embedded minds, sleeper agents awakened by code words, emotionless, efficient, invisible. They were always one step ahead. They let us think we were winning. Not this time. Eliza gathered the remaining ghosts, some wounded, some uncertain. She broadcast a new message, no encryption, no mask. To those hiding in labs, offices, and boardrooms, your names are known, your cycle is over, we are not subjects, we are survivors, and we remember everything. Chapter 16. The Core. They called it the Forge, buried beneath black volcanic rock in central Iceland, unmarked, unmapped, but very real. The birthplace of the operator program, the command node, the archive, the brainstem of memory manipulation on a global scale. Eliza stood on the landing ramp of a black transport chopper below snow-swept basalt, a steel door set into the earth. 2 guards, 1 keypad, EV4 beside her, rifle slung, eyes cold. We get in, we wipe the source. Then we erase ourselves. No, we erase them, not us. The strike team split into 3. Eliza led Alpha, herself, EV5, and 1 silent ghost known only as Markov. The Forge was minimalist, concrete ribs, cables like veins, server racks humming with the lives of hundreds, maybe thousands, stored like backups of souls. In the center, a vertical terminal, pulsing red. A rotating display that read, Memory Cycle Active. This is it, a single USB port, 1 drive in Eliza's hand. She hesitated. This wasn't just deletion. It was obliteration. Proof, memories, lives. Gone. What if we needed to prove what they did? We already did. She inserted the drive. Purging source archive 120 seconds. Then, Eliza Vane. A man in a black coat stepped from the far corridor, face obscured, eyes white. Operator 0. You are the anomaly. You should not have reached this point. This is not the outcome we designed. He raised his hand, triggered an implant. EV5 dropped screaming, clutching her head. Markov convulsed, collapsed, code phrases etched into their memory scripts, but Eliza, unchanged. Because I broke the cycle, and I'm not alone anymore. Operator 0 fell. Blood pooling across the terminal floor. Purge complete. The Forge died. The ghosts lived. Final chapter. Echoes without a face. Eliza Vane was never arrested, never identified, no body found, no name in any official record. Her photo vanished from Interpol's red notice within 48 hours of the Forge's destruction. To the world, she was a ghost. To those who knew the truth, she was something else. In a dingy internet cafe in Prague, a teenager opened a thread titled, I have dreams about lives I've never lived. Who else? Within 5 minutes, 312 replies. 3 days later, a message appeared at the top of the thread. Unverified. Anonymous. If you remember things that never happened, you were part of something you were never meant to survive, but you did. You're not alone. Find the lake, then start swimming. A second message followed. Rumors spread that she was living in the forests of Norway, that she'd had her memory wiped one last time, that she'd become the system's next evolution. But none of it mattered. Because the truth wasn't her. It was every survivor who chose to remember. And the lake, the one from her dreams, from the tapes, from the beginning, remained still, waiting. The end. The House Beneath the Lake by Claude Jones, narrated in TTS format, all rights reserved. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, ring the bell, and tell your friends about my listening library.